The Soft Revolution: Why Your Scars Are Your Superpower. I want to start by introducing you to someone who changed the way I think about strength, survival, and what it really means to step into freedom. Her name is Sadie Walker, and she is the powerhouse host of the Sadie Star Show, a platform that has become a lifeline for entrepreneurs, community leaders, and everyday people whose stories deserve to be heard. Sadie's work is not entertainment for entertainment's sake, it is sacred work. It is the work of creating space for healing, for truth, for the kind of transformation that reminds us all that our lives still matter, no matter what we have survived. And what she shared with me, it rearranged my understanding of pain, purpose, and the quiet rebellion of choosing softness in a world that demands we stay hard. Because here is the thing: most of us have been taught that survival is strength, that pushing through is power, that the cape we wear, whether it is the strong friend, the dependable daughter, the unshakable leader, is what makes us valuable. We have been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to our ability to endure, to keep going, to never let them see us sweat. But what Sadie reminded me, and what I want to remind you today, is that your past is not your prison. What happened to you may explain you, but it does not get to define your future. Healing, growth, and reinvention, they are still possible. And they are waiting for you on the other side of the story you have been too afraid to let go of. Let me tell you about Oprah Winfrey. And I know Oprah feels like the go to reference for everything. But stay with me, because her story is not just about success, it is about survival that turned into service. Oprah grew up in poverty, instability, and trauma. She experienced abuse, family chaos, and every barrier you can imagine tied to race, gender, and class. Her childhood was not a highlight reel. It was a fight to stay alive, to stay sane, to stay hopeful. And yet, instead of letting that pain bury her, she leaned into education, communication, and eventually broadcasting. She built a career centered on authentic storytelling and human connection. And today, she is one of the most influential media leaders in the world. Not because she pretended her past did not happen, but because she used it as the foundation for empathy, for connection, for purpose. Oprah's story shows us that a painful beginning does not prevent a meaningful legacy. In fact, it can become the foundation for one. And that is the first thing I need you to hear today. Your past is not your identity. It is not a life sentence. It is not the final word on who you get to become. You are not the sum of what happened to you. You are the sum of what you choose to do with it. Now, let me talk about Viola Davis. Because if Oprah's story is about turning pain into platform, Viola's story is about turning rejection into resilience. She grew up facing economic hardship and social barriers that made stability feel like a luxury she could not afford. But she pursued acting with discipline, training, and persistence, even when success was not immediate, even when the doors kept closing, even when the world told her she did not fit the mold. And you know what? She became one of the most acclaimed performers of her generation. She achieved EGOT status. She earned major film and television honors. She became known for roles that reflect strength, vulnerability, and truth. But here's what I love most about Viola's journey. Her rise was not sudden, it was built through years of preparation, rejection, and commitment to excellence. She did not go viral overnight. She did not get discovered by accident. She showed up day after day, year after year when no one was watching. And that is the second thing I need you to remember. Purpose is often formed through pain, loss, rejection, setbacks, disappointment. These are not detours. They are the very experiences that build resilience, deepen faith, and prepare you for your calling. The wound you are ashamed of, It might be the very thing that qualifies you for the work you are meant to do. And speaking of calling, let us talk about LeBron James. Now, I know what you are thinking. What does a basketball player have to do with softness, with healing, with the soft girl era? But hear me out. LeBron's story is not just about athletic greatness, it is about what you do with success once you have it. Through the LeBron James Family Foundation and the I Promise model, he created educational and support structures aimed at changing outcomes for families in underserved communities. He took his platform and redirected it into opportunity for others. He turned his own story of overcoming difficult circumstances into a commitment to giving back and creating access. And that is the third thing I need you to hold on to. Consistency matters more than instant success. The visible wins usually come after years of prayer, preparation, sacrifice, and showing up when no one is watching. LeBron did not just wake up one day and decide to give back. He built a foundation, literally and figuratively, through years of discipline, focus, and faith. And that is what true success looks like. It is not flashy, it is not always celebrated, but it is real and it lasts and it changes lives. Now, let me bring this back to Sadie Walker because her story is the thread that ties all of this together. Sadie lost her mother when she was just 11 years old. 11. That kind of loss changes everything. It reshapes your childhood, your sense of safety, your understanding of the world. And for years, she struggled to understand why such a heartbreaking event had happened. But over time, she realized that even in her deepest pain, God was preparing her for a greater purpose. That experience taught her compassion, resilience, and the importance of never taking a single day for granted. And here is what Sadie said that stopped me in my tracks. Your past may explain you, but it does not define you. She did not say her past did not matter. She did not say it did not hurt. She said it does not get to define her. And that is the permission I want to give you today. You do not have to pretend your pain did not happen. You do not have to act like you are over it when you are still healing. But you also do not have to let it be the final word on your life. Because here is the truth: we all have the ability to choose healing over bitterness, purpose over pain, and faith over fear. Our circumstances do not determine our destiny. Our response to them often does. And that is not toxic positivity. That is not spiritual bypassing. That is the hard, holy work of deciding that your story is not over yet. So, what does this mean for you? What are you supposed to do with all of this? Let me break it down. First, stop treating your past like a life sentence. I know it is easier said than done. I know there are days when the weight of what you have survived feels too heavy to carry, but you do not have to carry it alone and you do not have to carry it forever. Identify one painful experience that can be turned into a source of strength, wisdom, or service. Just one. And ask yourself, what did this teach me? How did this shape me? And how can I use it to help someone else? Because the moment you turn your pain into purpose, you take back your power. Second, take one concrete step forward this week. Just one. Apply for the job, launch the project, forgive the person, pray the prayer, write the email, pitch the idea, restart the dream you delayed out of fear. Because consistency matters more than comparison. You do not need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next step, and then the next one, and then the one after that. Progress is not about perfection, it is about persistence. And third, focus on consistency instead of comparison. Stop measuring your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20. Stop scrolling through highlight reels and wondering why your life does not look like that. Your journey is yours. Your timeline is yours. Your healing is yours, and it is unfolding exactly the way it is supposed to. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be. I want you to leave this conversation feeling seen, encouraged, hopeful, strengthened, motivated to keep going because healing is possible. Your story still matters, and your next chapter can be better than the one that hurt you. Sadie Walker reminded me that it is never too late to pursue a dream, start over, forgive, heal, or answer the calling that has been placed on your life. Every setback can become the foundation for a comeback if we are willing to keep moving forward. And that is not just a nice idea. That is the truth that Oprah lived, that Viola embodied, that LeBron demonstrated, and that Sadie is still walking out every single day. So here's my question for you. What would it look like to stop surviving and start living? What would it feel like to release the cape, redefine strength, and embrace softness, not as weakness, but as a radical act of self love? What would change if you believed that your past is not your prison, that purpose is often formed through pain, and that consistency matters more than instant success? Because here is the thing, your life still has purpose, your voice still matters, and your best chapter may still be ahead of you, not because you have earned it, not because you have suffered enough, but because you are still here. And that means something. So take the step. Tell the story, release the weight, choose the healing. And remember, your past may explain you, but it does not get to define you. Your future is still being written, and you get to hold the pen. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your soft revolution. The world taught you survival. Now it is time to teach yourself how to thrive, not by doing more, but by being more. More honest, more gentle, more free, more you. And if no one has told you this today, let me be the one. You are not broken. You are breaking through. And what is on the other side of this? It is worth every tear, every prayer, every moment you chose to keep going when giving up felt easier. So go, live softly, love fiercely, lead boldly, and never forget your scars are not your shame. They are your superpower